Did you know that you are being judged in the Career Talent interview before you even say a word? In this video, I'll show you the most common body language mistakes applicants make and how to fix them fast so that you look confident and ready on camera. Hi, I'm Caitlin Anderson, graduate admissions consultant and Oxford MBA who has helped hundreds of students win interviews and offers to all the top business schools in the world, including Harvard, Stanford, Oxford, MIT, and Yale, and win over $1 million in scholarships. Also, I'm a former professional dance competitor, so I know how powerful nonverbal communication can be. In a competition, we had to tell an entire story without saying a word. In the Career Talent interview, your body language communicates to the admissions committees whether you believe in what you're selling the world. So today, I'm gonna break down why your body language matters in the Career Talent interview, the top mistakes to avoid, and what to do instead so you impress the admissions committees. Let's start with why body language even matters in the Career Talent interview. Most applicants think that they're being judged solely on the content of their answers. But here's the truth. Schools are evaluating your presence just as much as your words. Why? Because they're not only evaluating what you know, they're trying to understand how you will present yourself under pressure. And that will give them some indication as to whether you are placeable or very likely to get a job after you graduate. And they care about this because they need to report their employment percentages to the world. And if they can improve their employment percentage, meaning lots of their graduates are getting jobs after they graduate from their program, then it's good for their brand. So they are asking themselves, do you look confident, composed, and ready to engage in a global classroom? Or do you look nervous or unfocused or closed off? Think of it like this. Your words are the message and your body is the delivery system. Even a great message can fall flat if the delivery feels weak or unsure. In dance, it's this invisible energy that the audience feels when a performer owns the space, even before the music starts. That was the reason why the people in the ballroom dancing world loved watching the world champions. It wasn't just because they were technically brilliant. It was because they had this confident way of inviting you into their world. It was almost like they knew a secret that they wanted to share with you. And I think about when I see people who have like this little twinkle in their eye, it's a fun, playful energy. I've heard it described as the X factor. So that is what we want to bring to our Career Talent interview that is going to be communicated through our body language. Now you know why your body language matters in the Career Talent interview. I want to show you how you can start off with great body language. Okay, so we're going to start with your posture, and this is going to be going back to my dance background. I'm going to use that to help us get the right posture for the Career Talent interview. Okay, so the first step is you need to lift your chest. So if you can't figure out how to do that naturally, you can breathe in and out, and that will help you to raise your chest. Okay, so we go, and then breathe out, and drop your chest. Now, make sure that when you do this, we keep our shoulders down. So a lot of times when people lift their chest, their shoulders will come up too. So we want to make sure that we have relaxed shoulders. High chest, shoulders down. Now we're going to talk about your head. We want your chin to be slightly tucked. We don't want it to be up like this. We don't want it to be super down like this. We want it to be just slightly tucked. And then we're going to raise our arms like this. And when you raise your arms, don't raise your shoulders too. Keep your shoulders down. And we're going to shift them slightly to the right of our body. So just move them to the right of your body. Now check. Is your chest up? Are your shoulders down? Okay, we're good. Now, I want you to drop them onto your lap or onto your desk, and I want you to now slightly lean towards the camera, like this. Okay? Don't drop your chest when you lean. Keep the chest up. And now this is gonna be the posture that you can start to work with, start to be more comfortable with. It looks engaged. It looks like you're excited to be here. You are feeling like you're really talking to somebody, because in the end you are. So try to get this kind of posture and move your arms with it. Try to feel with it, breathe with it. This is where you want to come to when you're doing your career talent interview. Now that we've talked about how your posture should be when you start out the career talent interview, let's talk about the biggest mistakes that I see in body language and how we can fix them. Mistake number one is slouching and leaning back. So those kinds of postures send the signal to your viewer that you are either disinterested, tired, or disengaged. Even if you feel focused, remember the camera flattens energy. So you need to sit upright, you need to lean slightly forward, and that will help show that you are interested and engaged. Mistake number two is fidgeting or touching our face. Tapping your fingers or touching and readjusting your hair or touching your face in any way sends the message to the admissions committee that you're either nervous or distracted. Because remember, admissions committees are picking up on all of these behaviors even if you don't realize you're doing them. I remember last year I had a student who was interviewing for several of the top business schools, London Business School, INSEAD, and he ended up getting into all the schools he applied to, including LSE, which was a very low acceptance rate. And when we were working on our interviewing skills, he kept covering his face with his mouth like this, and he didn't even realize he was doing it. I had to keep telling him, look, when you do that, I can't hear you very well, number one, as someone listening to you, and it looks like you may not be as confident or you're unsure, or it sends a message of anxiety. He didn't even realize. So it really helped him to have somebody call that out for him. That's why what I would do is after you record yourself and you review the recording to see how you look on camera, I would also ask a friend or family member or consultant to look at those videos and see, is there something like that maybe that you're doing from time to time that you didn't even realize you were doing, because that's going to send a really strong message that maybe there are issues with your presence that could negatively have an impact on your chance of getting a good job after you graduate, and we don't want that. If you really struggle with fidgeting and you can't get your hands to stop touching your face, then what I told my student who had this issue was, I said, hold your hands like this on your lap, and if you want to move them, just clasp them tighter together, and that will keep you from trying to touch your face. Mistake number three is over staring or avoiding eye contact altogether. If you stare too intensely at the camera and you never break gaze, it feels almost robotic and maybe even a little bit intimidating to the person watching you. But then if you never look at the camera and you're always looking around, it can seem unsure or like you're distracted. So we want to have a kind of soft, engaged gaze, but allow yourself that when you think of something, you can look over here for a second, but come right back to the same place that you were looking at before. So think of it like you are having a conversation with a real person. Okay, in that conversation, you're not going to stare at that person like this while they're talking or while you are talking to them. You're going to shift your gaze, but you're going to come back and let them know that you're still there with them, engaging in conversation. And in the same way, you're not going to never look at that person, you know, while they're talking to you or while you're trying to explain something to them. You're not going to be explaining it over here if they're here. So it's the same situation. You want to get that same variance of the gaze while you have the moment, and then come right back to the same place so that the person that's going to watch your video will feel like you are having a conversation with them. If you aren't sure whether your eye contact is good, then I would encourage you to record short clips of yourself and track your eye movement. Are you over staring at the camera and never looking away? Are you only looking away and never staring at the camera? Then you can adjust accordingly. Mistake number 4 is a frozen facial expression. Now, I've worked with students from all over the world, and I've seen from very different places in the world, students give this very neutral, very flat facial expression. And the reason why that's not going to be great for the Career Talent interview is because the schools that they're applying to are usually in the United States, where we tend to be very facially expressive, or in the United Kingdom, or in Europe somewhere. And so we have to amp up our facial expression to communicate that we are engaged and that we are a likable person. So when the admissions committee is reviewing our video, they're gonna be asking themselves, is this someone I'd wanna sit by and have a conversation with? And if the answer is they seem really boring or they seem really bored, then it's not gonna be good for your application overall. So I will tell my students that have this natural, very flat face to try with starting with a smile first, anywhere you can, and maybe nodding or maybe trying to move your eyebrows up and down like this. Those kinds of things, when done in the right places, can send a very powerful message of engagement and interest, and you want to send that message. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways of saying the same thing, and you'll see the difference when I add a lot of facial movement and expression. Hi, I'm Caitlin Anderson, and I am very excited to be here applying for your MBA program. I feel that I could be a great addition to your program because I have the leadership skills and management experience that you are looking for. Hi, I'm Caitlin Anderson. I'm very excited to be here applying for your MBA program. I feel I would make a great addition to your program because I have the leadership skills and management experience that you're looking for. So the first one is pretty dry and it doesn't make you want to engage further with the person. The second one is a little bit better. It has more facial expressions, more warmth, easy movement, friendliness, and that is what you want to go for. Now, that's even less expressive than I am naturally. I've toned it down a bit for you, but you could even go more expressive. That's just to show you that there is already a stark contrast between just adding a little bit more of the facial expressions to your responses. Let's recap. Your body language in the Career Talent interview matters just as much as your words. If you can sit tall, keep your hands off your face, have a natural gaze, and let your expressions flow, you will project confidence, professionalism, and friendliness, which is exactly what you're going for in the Career Talent interview. If you found this video helpful, then please give it a like and subscribe. It'll help us to keep the channel going. I post weekly Career Talent strategies and business school admissions tips. And if you want even more detailed help, then you can check out the description below. I've linked to my new Career Talent interview prep kit that has step-by-step tools and practice materials to help you shine in your Career Talent interview. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.